Hi, everyone. This is Mark Sterneman, and I am the Vice President of Net Law, and I have been asked to create a video that walks you through how to complete all of your documents. So I want to start with the screen that you're seeing now. Once you get your invitation or your voucher and you get set up on the plan, this is the first screen that you'll see. And it'll have your name on there from the invitation that was sent to you. And we can go ahead and just put our email in, and I'll do that real quick. And we can hit next. And this is great. We're done. We set it up. And now as we enter into the system, we're going to go to My Profile. As you can see on the left-hand side, these are the 4 tabs that we'll be dealing with today: My Profile, Family and Contacts, Smart Guide Interviews, and My Files. And as you can see, your name's already pre-populated in here. What we'll do is go ahead and just fill in all of these blanks. Male or female, and birthday. Basic information. Now our street address. Where do we live? County, city. I'm going to put Dallas, Texas. And the zip code. Next. If we ever need to ship you anything, are we going to ship it to your residential address? Yes. And it automatically takes us to the next tab, Family and Contacts, here on the left-hand side. This is where we're going to enter everyone who is going to play a role in our documents, whether they're our executors or our trustees or one of our beneficiaries. So we want to make sure that we have everyone listed here that will play a role in our documents. And how do you add these people? Very simply, down in the bottom right-hand corner, see the little people person? We'll go ahead and click this. And as you can see, we can add our spouse, our children, parents, or others. So let me go ahead and I'll start with creating my spouse. No. And next. Is your spouse's address the same as yours? Usually yes. If not, you can hit no and add that address. That's how we add our spouse. Then we come down and we can add any children that we have. Finish. And then we can add other children as well. Perfect. And now we can add others. So I can put the grandchild. Daughter. She lives in Dallas, Texas. Okay, and we can add as many people here as needed. There's no limit to the people that you can add here. But for time straits, I will go ahead and stop here. And I will go ahead. And you know what? Let me go ahead and add one more. I want to show you something. Let me add one more child. Okay, so we have 3 children and 1 grandchild. Now I made one child under the age of 18. That's important because when we fill out our documents, and we're going to go to our Smart Guide interviews to do that, we can click on right here, last will plus living trust. This is going to create both documents. Now, for any reason, if you want to just complete just the will portion, you can click just the last will. But most people go ahead and create both documents. So we're going to click on last will plus living trust. And as you can see, one plan covers both spouses. So here's myself and my wife. So the check mark's on me. So I'm going to go ahead and complete my documents first. We'll go ahead and just hit the start button. Now, I put that I was in Dallas, Texas, because that is a community property state. If you're in a community property state, then this will be the first page that you see. You can create a joint revocable trust where you and your spouse will share the same trust. So we can click here. Do you want to create a joint revocable trust? Yes, I do. And you get to name it. So you can name it whatever you want. Usually what we recommend, for me, it would be the Mark Sterneman and Donna Sterneman Revocable Living Trust. That's what I would name it here. You can name it anything you want, but we would recommend that you have Revocable Living Trust in the name. Now, if you're not in a community property state, we can click no here. And then this will be the first page that you see. It will start with your executors. So whether you're in a community property state and you want to do one trust for both spouses, or you're in a non-community property state where you will create one trust for both spouses. Then we start with our executors. And these over here on the right-hand side, you can see what an executor is, who can be an executor, but this is the person who is going to pretty much handle everything when it comes to your will, making sure that everything is taken care of. And we can simply add these people right here where it says executors. We can click on this box, and then everybody pops up that we named in our family and contacts. I want to make Donna my executor. So I'll click on her name. And I can hit next. We always have successors. That means alternates as well. So if Donna's unable to do it, who's going to fill in the rows? And you can do multiple successors serving together. That means they both have to agree. Or you can do one each serving after an issue. The first person that you name is in charge. If they're unable, then it falls to the second person. You can do one successor or no successors. I'll do both. And I can name Ashley and Jacob. And simply hit next. Now, guardians of minor children. Remember, I made that third child under the age of 18. So I can name Ashley to be the guardian of the child. And then for the successors, I can name Jacob. That way we always have backups for our executors, our guardians, and even our trustees here. Now remember, you're always the trustee of your account for as long as you're alive. So you always want to include your name, but I always like to make sure that my spouse is in here. It's totally up to you if you want to add your spouse in here or not. So you can be alone here, or you can add anyone here that will help you. And then we always have our successors. And remember, over on the right-hand side are always frequently asked questions. So it lets you know why we're filling in this section. But right here, our successor trustees will handle everything that's in the trust when both of us pass away. And again, you can do multiple successors serving together or separately. I prefer to do it serving together, and I can create both of my children. Do you have any pets? If you click yes, you can create a trust for their care. But I'll say no, just for time constraints. A lot of people don't do this, but you do have the option. Devise a personal residence. I always like clicking yes here, because now that I've created a trust, this is where my assets for my personal residence will be distributed. It will go to Donna as long as she survives me by 30 days. If not, then it passes to my residuary estate, what we'll see later. Do you own other real estate? Yes, I own other real estate, or no, you don't, right? But to show you, it's real easy to add parcel details is just the address, right? So if I want to put that I live at 200 Marketplace in, I don't know, Denver, Colorado. Now, this is my other real estate, right? This isn't our primary real estate. This is other real estate that we own. And when I pass, where does this property go? Will it be distributed to my beneficiaries at my death, regardless of whether my spouse is living, or at my death, only if my spouse is predeceased me? I'm going to say second one. And we'll click add here because we need to name a beneficiary, right? An individual who's going to receive this property. And we can do one of two things. We can give it to Ashley as a beneficiary, and I can give her 100% of it, or I could do 50% and hit add again for the other 50%. As long as it equals 100% here, we are good to go. And then we hit next. And you can do that for as many properties as you own. The next page is specific bequest. One specific asset going to one specific beneficiary, or you could, again, do 50% or 30% or however you want to divide those assets up. You can do it right here. And I will show you. You just click add. And let's just say that for the individual, I am going to leave something to Ashley, and it'll be a dollar amount. And let's say she gets $50,000. And at my death, regardless of whether my spouse is living, sure, right? And next. And you can do that for as many specific bequests as you have. And then it comes to residuary estates. Everything that I didn't put in specific bequest, who is my assets going to be distributed to? All to my spouse if surviving. If not, then all to my children. Or I could give it all to my children. Or I could give it to another person. Or I could leave it to a charity. If we wanted to add a charity, we would go back to our family and contacts and add that charity in there so that we can name them. But most people click this. Everything that I own, you know, when I pass away, goes to my spouse as long as he or she is alive. If not, then it'll pass to my kids. Do you want to omit any children? You can click yes or no. And then do you want to create a descendants trust? I like this because if you pass away, you and your spouse, before any child or children are over the age of 18, you can determine when they will receive their inheritance. This is very important because if we do nothing here, your children will receive their inheritance at age 18. But as you can see, we have 4 options available to you. They can receive 1/3 of their inheritance at age 25, half of what's left at 30, and then the remainder at 35, or half at 25 and the remainder at 30, or all at 25 or all at 21. I'll just click this one and then we can move on. Remember, this is where when they will receive their inheritance. And the last page is your ultimate disposition. For any reason, if you outlive your spouse and your kids, all of your beneficiaries, how do you want your assets to be distributed? And over here, again, frequently asked questions. What does heir laws mean? This is always determined by state law, but usually it's your next closest living relative. You can do yours, or you could do a 50-50 split between your next closest and your spouse's next closest. Or again, you can name someone else or a charity. And then we hit finish. We just created our last will and our revocable living trust. I think it's very easy to complete. It's very easy to follow along with. Remember, use those frequently asked questions off to the right-hand side of the page, because it will always let you know, why are we filling this in and what does it mean? Once you do that, you can scroll down. Here is healthcare documents. We want to go ahead and create those as well. Again, most spouses get to create their documents. We'll keep with mine. And this is your medical power of attorney. Who will speak for you if you can't speak for yourself when it comes to matters of medical decisions, right? And we just click the button. And of course, I'll create my spouse here. And just like in your will and trust, we name a main person and we always name successors as well. And then it says limitations on agent authority. Do you want to put any limits of their authority that they can and cannot talk about? I'll click no. Then it takes us to our HIPAA authorization. This is our second document. This allows someone to see, any kind of medical charts or anything like that. Again, you can click one person or multiple here and your successors. Now you can see here that Kaylin is not showing up, the third child, because she was under the age of 18. And with that, you can't choose them to be executors, trustees, anything with your medical documents. They have to be over the age of 18. If you ever have a chance to see a psychotherapist or a psychiatrist, do you want those psychotherapy notes to be released? You can include them or you don't have to. Disposition of body upon death. You can read these and choose the best option that's for you. Do you authorize the giving of all or any body part upon death for any lawful purpose? Or same thing, as long as it doesn't cost the family or the estate any money or any undue delay in processing the body. Or no, I don't want to do that at all. Totally up to you. And we just created our healthcare documents. Now, some states will ask more questions in the healthcare. I know Virginia is one state that asks a lot of medical questions. So if you're in there, you'll answer a lot more questions. And then we go down and we create our last document, which is our power of attorney. We hit start. The great thing about the power of attorney, it's only 2 questions. This is your financial power of attorney. Who will speak for you or who will handle any financial matters if you cannot? Again, we name our agent. And then we're always going to name our successors. Oops. Well, I did it again. And we just created our power of attorney document. Now, once we created all of these documents, we can go to our My File section. That is our vault system where all of our documents will be stored. So here are all of my documents that I just created. All 6 documents, the will, the trust, the power of attorney, and the 3 healthcare documents. Here's where we will print out and take and get witnessed and notarized. So everything here will always be safe. Once you get your documents witnessed and notarized, we always suggest that you come back and you can create a folder down here in the bottom right. You can hit the plus sign and you can create a folder. You can create a tax folder. So you can store all of your tax information in here. You can create a completed estate plan folder. This is where you can store all of your signed, witnessed, and notarized copies. And you can do this for anything, pictures, videos, anything that you don't want to lose in here. you can create a folder in here and store everything in here. So very, very important. Not only is this an estate plan, but a great file folder as well that's online, so you'll never lose it or never get caught in a fire or a flood or anything like that. You'll always have a copy of it here. Now that we've created our documents and we're done, all we have to do is go back to Smart Guide Interviews, hit the Last Will plus Living Trust button again. Now, if you are in a community property state, you would have already created your joint trust for you and your spouse. So the second spouse will go back and just click Last Will if you're in a community property state that did a joint trust. If not, you go back to this one, you click on your spouse's name, and you start the whole process over again, creating his or her documents. Very easy to use. One thing that I will leave you with is if you ever have any questions, you can always reach out to us. Up here in the upper right-hand corner, there's the chat bar. You can click that and contact one of our customer service reps here. They can always make that call a Zoom call where you can actually share your screen so we can see what you're looking at to help you with any questions that you have or help you complete the documents. Again, I want to thank you for joining us. I hope this was very helpful. And again, I appreciate you being part of the NetLaw family. And if you need anything, please hit that chat bar and let us know how we can assist you. Thank you so much and have a great day.